Namaskar viewers, I'm Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to this week's edition of the Tax Talk with AJ right here on ITV Gold. The show is sponsored by CPS Services, a complete professional accounting firm, one of the best accounting firms in the state of New Jersey. Multiple locations can assist you with your personal tax returns as well as corporate tax returns or any tax related matters. But more than that, they can also help you with your business's bookkeeping services, payroll services. They can also have virtual CEO and CFO for you so that way you can focus on your business. CPS Services believes doing taxes right for their clients. For more information, you can give them a call at 908 888-8900. That's a 908-888-8900 or visit their website, sciencecpsservices.com. With that note, I'd like to welcome Mr. Ajay Kumar of CPS Services with over 25 years of experience. And Ajay Kumar is a CPA, CBA, and MBA with CPS Services. Ajay ji, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sanjeev, and thank you for the kind introduction.
Absolutely, sir. Introduction is important, and with introduction, right introduction is also extremely important so that our clients know that why CPS Services is so special for all their accounting needs. One, obviously, they do taxes right. They also advise you, guide you on your taxes matter, and they want to make sure that whatever deductions are coming your way, they'll make sure that you take those deductions. So, CPS Services is known among their huge list of clients is the best accounting firm here in New Jersey. So, AJ, you're most welcome with that one. All right, now, this week we're going to discuss about business structures. It's very important. You want to start a business, and then obviously you really need to know whether you should have a LLC, C corporation, S corporation, depends upon a business. Whether is it manufacturing, is it research and development, is it just a retail services? All these things applies to the entity of the business that you're going to set it up, that you're going to decide to have it, because it also depends upon your personal taxes, personal income tax, personal income and everything else, because sometimes it flows through your personal income tax as well. So having a right business entity is the number one and a correct step, so that way you can file your taxes correctly, you can pay your taxes correctly, and that's why CPS Services will guide you for that matter. So in case if you are just getting ready to start a business, either you or your spouse, then AJ is going to give you very valuable information in this episode. Sir, LLC, C corporation, S corporation, limited partnership, kya kiya jaye?
Absolutely, Sanjeev, and very well said. So not just if you are starting a business now, if you already have a business, this is the time of the year when you need to take a step back, look at it, if the structure that you have is the right structure. Does it still make sense? A lot of time people start somewhere, then they outgrow the structure. Now they are more profitable than what they were. So maybe the structure that they have does not make sense. So choosing the right business structure for a new business, for an existing business, for a future business makes a lot of sense when it comes to tax planning. During this time of the year, now 15th October, the tax season is over, Diwali is over, you have 2 months to do the tax planning. So especially if you are a small business owner, please take a step back, look at what businesses you have. Is it LLC, S Corp, C Corp, why? When did you start? Does it still make sense? And have this conversation with your accountant. Give us a call if you need help, and we'll be happy to help you to decide if the business structure that you have, that you want to have, makes sense for your type of business.
Okay, absolutely, because as AJ said, folks, correctly, that choosing a right business is really, really important. So let's say among all these various entities, let's start with a very common one, LLC one.
Absolutely, Sanjeev. LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. If you don't know anything, or people who are deciding themselves, more than likely they end up choosing LLC. Only because LLC comes with a lot of flexibility. LLC has the limited liability protection, so it has some security around it. And with an LLC, you can file the taxes on your personal tax. If it's a single owner LLC, you can file the tax as partnership, 1065 filer. If you have a partner with you, you can file the taxes for an LLC as an S corporation. It still flow through, but no self-employment taxes. Or you can file the LLC taxes as a C corporation, where you file the business taxes separately and do not have the flow through type of nature from the business profit. So LLC is the most flexible structure that this country allows. LLC can file taxes in 4 different ways. So in total, Sanjeevji, there are 5 different type of business structure.
Yep.
LLC, we call it number 3 from the high to low perspective, allows you to file taxes from the remaining 4 perspective. LLC does not have its own tax form. You can file the LLC taxes in any other form, in any of the other 4 remaining formats.
Okay. And LLC, as I understand, is also very, very good for small to mid-sized businesses.
LLC is extremely good for small to mid-sized businesses, the businesses that are trying out, businesses that are not sure how much the profit is going to be, or businesses that are not expecting to have profit. And you wonder, why would I have a business if I'm not expecting to have profit? Say, for example, if you have a real estate business have depreciation, mortgage interest, property tax. So on paper, after you factor the depreciation, which is a non-cash expense, generally speaking, your taxable profit will be negative. You will not have any profit if you do it right, if you plan it properly. After deducting the mortgage interest, property tax, depreciation, on paper, for a real estate transaction, you will not have any profit shown on the books. In those cases, LLC is perfect.
Okay, very well. Thank you. Out of 5 entities, AJ, 3 of them are very popular. One is LLC, the other one is S Corporation, and the C Corporation. All 3 of them have one thing in common, which gives you limited liability protection. Can you shed some light in a layman's language for our viewers? What exactly is liability protection?
Absolutely. So as the term says, limited liability. So LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. What it means is liability for an LLC is limited to the asset that the LLC has. Say, for example, if you have 5 real estate properties, you create 5 different LLCs, one LLC for each property. If something is to go wrong with one LLC, only that property is exposed for the legal lawsuit, not the remaining 4 properties. So the liability is limited to the extent, the value of that LLC, the property, the asset that LLC has. That's why they call it Limited Liability Company.
Okay, very well. Thank you so very much. The other thing is, Limited Liability Corporation, LLC, is a pass-through through the taxation, through the personal tax return or the corporations. That is one of the things, right, for LLC?
It depends. As we discussed, LLC can file taxes in 4 different possible way. It can be included on your personal taxes. If it's a single member LLC, it can file a separate partnership type of return. We call it 1065. And LLC can choose to elect S election. So it could be filing as pass-through S corporation, and LLC can choose to file taxes as a C corporation, where the taxes are not flow through, where the taxes do not get included with your personal taxes and taxes are filed separately. So LLC provides the most flexibility when it comes to the tax filing type.
Perfect, very well. So now after LLC, now you just touch base upon S corporation. S corporation, is not the pass-through. It's kind of what they call is double taxation.
No, I'm sorry. S corporation is pass-through. What they call double taxation is C corporation.
Oh, okay, all right. So S corporation is the pass-through, correct? My bad. So let's just talk about S corporation and what are the benefits or rather advantages and disadvantages of the S corporation.
Absolutely, Sanjeevji. So LLC has pass-through nature, limited protection. C corporation, on the other hand, is a much larger corporation, bigger liability protection, more compliance. S corporation provides a hybrid structure, best of both worlds. S corporation has the flow through nature, pass through nature of the LLC, and the liability protection or the corporate nature compliance of the C corporation. So S corporation is an ideal structure if you have a profitable business, if you have a consulting company, professional service company. For most doctors, attorneys, accountants, architects, S corporation is the preferred structure. S corporation has several limitations around it. S corporation cannot have more than 100 owners. What it means is, and you say, hey, 100 is 100, it's a lot of number. But that being said, S corporation cannot be a publicly listed company When you have a publicly listed company, you issue stocks and a lot of owners can be there. So publicly listed company cannot be an S corporation. S corporation cannot have foreign ownership. S corporation must have the resident, U.S. resident, a green card holder, or a citizenship as the owner. S corporation cannot have different type of stocks. S corporation cannot have preferred stock or regular stock. So S corporation comes up with lot of limitation. And you ask, well, if this S corporation has so many limitations and is as good as flow through nature that LLC has, why would anybody choose S corporation? Why not everybody choosing LLC? Because LLC pays self-employment taxes, which S corporation does not pay. Take an example. If you make $100 of profit in an LLC, over and above your income tax, you have to pay $15, almost $15 in self-employment tax on that profit. In S corporation, the self-employment tax is not there. You have to run the payroll, a reasonable payroll, but in theory, S corporation will be ahead in terms of lower tax liability when it comes to comparing LLC and S corporation.
All right, very well, very useful information. So we're going to take a pause right now, and when we come back after the messages, AJ will give us more information on the other entities. Remember, your business structure is extremely important when you start a business, or even if you have started a business and if you think that it's not really helping out in a way that it should really help out with your taxes, you can always change it from one entity to another entity. And how you can do that, that's all coming up after these messages. Moving on to the show, folks, in case if you have just joined us, today's topic is the business entities, business structure. Out of 5 of them, which one is right for you, for your business? That's exactly what we are discussing. We touch base upon LLC and S corporation, right? So now we're going to go into the C corporation. How C corporation is different than S corporation? One thing is that if you're planning to go to a public company, then you need to have a C corporation. S corporation cannot go to stock market, correct?
Absolutely. C corporation is a preferred structure when it comes to financing. If you are an angel investor, you always prefer a C corporation. You don't want to be going through S corporation or LLC. You don't want that exposure to be reflected on your personal taxes. Remember, LLC and S corp, they're both flow-through entity, pass-through entity. The profit shows up in your personal tax return. So when you have a financing options, when you are looking for loans, when you are looking for angel investment, all those people prefer C corporation. C corporation can go public. C corporation can have foreign owner. When you are going public, you don't control who is buying your stocks. You don't control who is buying your share. These people who are buying your share could be from different countries. You are not seeing what legal status, what immigration status they have. So C corporation allows foreign ownership. C corporation is a good structure when you are thinking about larger picture. When you have a business, say if you have a business in India, which is already successful, and you are trying to create a branch here. You know the business is successful, you're trying to create a branch. In that case, C corporation is good.
All right. So now my question to you, AJ, is a C corporation, obviously you could have owners, they could be all over the world and doesn't have to be only US green card or citizenship holders and everything. So if someone starts a company now, and let's say 3 to 5 years, company really builds up goodwill and they decide to go to public, will they have to change from S corporation to C corporation, the company's entity?
Absolutely. They cannot really go to public under S election. They will have to convert this company, and there is a process around it to convert C Corp to S Corp or vice versa. You have to do necessary filing, seek approval, and lose the S election, make it as a C corporation before going to public.
All right. And then when you say seek approval, I guess approval comes from SEC, Security Exchange Commission, correct?
Well, no. S election approval comes from the state and the IRS.
Okay.
SEC is the secondary filing. You cannot do the SEC filing under S election. First, you have to change it to a C election, C corporation, and then only you are allowed to do the SEC filing.
All right. So for any startup company, let's just say pick on technology, because our community is very well, invested into technology. If someone wants to start a startup company in technology, either they should go with LLC or the S corporation to begin with.
Typically in a technology company, just because you are selling your time, there is nothing else to sell. So profits are high. Meaning generally the net profit is 40%, if not higher. In those cases, instead of LLC, where you have to pay self-employment tax on the net income, you should prefer S election, S corporation. So generally speaking, if you are a US citizen, green card holder, for your IT consulting company, you go with S corporation. If you have foreign ownership, you have an Indian company and the Indian company will own the US company, or you are thinking about L1 visa, or you are thinking about multiple owners where one owner doesn't have the social security number, in that case, you are forced to do C corporation. I'll remind our viewers, in order to start a company in this country, you don't have to have a social security number. We do a lot of business startup where people have never been in this country. They don't have a visa. They don't even have the Indian passport. Forget about the US passport. And they have the right to start a C corporation or an LLC in this country. LLC and C corporation both allow foreign ownership. We prefer C corporation because later on, C corporation provides higher flexibility, and using C corporation, you can have your own L1, H1 visa under your own company.
Okay, very well said. Good. All right. So now let's, keeping time situation in mind, let's go with the limited partnership and the other entity called sole proprietorship.
Absolutely, Sanjeev ji. So we said there are 5 different type of structure. So the way you want to look at it is proprietorship, which one person just doing the business himself or herself. There is no registration needed. You just go to county, say this is what you intend to do. I mean, you are still obligated to do sales tax filing and all the other filings depending on what you're selling, what you're doing. But proprietorship is the easiest structure to start with, almost no compliance needed. Next thing is partnership. As the name says, partnership has to have more than one partner. If you have 2 people coming together, let's work together. You do this, I do this, you bring in this much money, I bring in this much money. That's typically a partnership. Very, very simple, simplistic structure, little bit more filing than the proprietorship. Then comes LLC. LLC has a lot of flexibility where you can file taxes as a proprietorship, as a partnership, as an S Corp, as a C corporation. LLC allows foreign ownership, a lot of flexibility, except in LLC, on the profit, you pay self-employment tax. So if you have a real estate company, as we said in the first segment, no profit expected, go with LLC. If you have a company that you're trying out, LLC. Remember, LLC can later be converted into other format. Then after LLC, S corporation and C corporation. So again, in the order of proprietorship, partnership, LLC, S corp and C corp. As we move from proprietorship to C corp, the complexity increases, the liability protection increases, cost of doing business increases, administration increases. So you have to see which phase you are in your business. Proprietorship is the easiest one, and C corporation is the most difficult one, most compliant one. Yep. You have to see what makes sense in your case.
All right, very interesting. So now let's say to explain to our viewers, all these major companies here in USA who are publicly traded companies, either in S&P 500 or NASDAQ or Dow Jones, they are all C corporation. Absolutely, they are C corporation. Now, what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to ask you is that, for a publicly traded company, it must be C corporation. If the group of investors, want to take their company to the public and everything else, but it takes a process. It takes 6 months or a year before they go to public and everything. Can they do C corporation from the beginning and wait till they get the approval to have their IPO come out, or they have to do S and then change it to C?
I think in many cases, it makes sense to do C corporation from the beginning. If you know that in 3 to 5 years, you will be going public,
okay,
or if you have foreign ownership, or if you think you will need the investors investing money into your business, you will need venture capital, angel investor, they will all prefer C corporation. In that case, it will make sense for you to start the C corporation right from the inception, as opposed to convert one type of company into another.
Okay. And in case if that project fails in the sense, if they decide not to go to public, they can always change it to S corporation.
They can always change the C corporation into S election.
Okay. Very well. Well, with that note, we come to an end of it. And folks, as you know, the end of October is almost around the corner. Hope you had a wonderful Diwali celebration with your friends and families. Now it's really time for you to take a moment, sit down, look at your finances, look at your yearly income right now. Take a look at it, where you stand and where you're going to end up at the December 31st. That means how much income you're going to have, where are you planning to invest the money. Because remember, taxes are taxes. Everyone must pay their taxes, their share of it, whatever it is. But how you can save on your taxes. Just to save on a taxes, that means you can invest money in several plans. Obviously, most popular one, kids' education, and if you are a grandparents, you can give it to your grandkids and whatnot. So this is the time that you really need to look into it. And before December 31st, you must invest into any one of those plans to save your taxes for the next year when you go to file a tax return for this year. And for that, I strongly suggest you to take advice of Science CPA Services. They're knowledgeable on-hand CPAs, experienced CPAs, and Mr. Ajay Kumar himself will personally advise you and guide you by looking at your finances, where you should be and what kind of plan that you should be putting money in. So that way you can save your tax liability, because saving tax liability is the smartest thing to do. So please take action right now. Give them a call at 908-888-8900 or visit sciencecpaservices.com. AJ, if you'd like to have a final word on that.
Absolutely. No, you said it very well, Sanjeev. A dollar saved is a dollar earned.
Yep.
This is the time of the year. In next 2 months, if you do it right, you can definitely make a dent to your tax liability.
All right, and that's why we are continuing to reminding you, and we'll continue to do so. Thank you so very much for watching the show. AJ, thank you for your time.
Thank you,
and
Sanjeev.
until we meet again, same place, same time, I am Sanjeev Pandya, wishing you all a very happy tax-free days ahead. So long.
Thank you.